Hi, welcome back to our Sproutable Parent Q&A. We have a question from a parent about turning her child into a praise junkie. She said that he asks for attention and affirmation constantly, and while he's an overall happy, fun, loving kid who can play independently, he definitely seeks that external validation all the time. So it is so easy to get hooked into this for kids that will be relentless with the, but what do you think? But do you like it? Do not get hooked. Each time, what they're really doing is seeking connection, and kids will settle for attention. So you can say, I see you, tell me more about this, and just really be explicit. So you can say, I notice, and then just name exactly what they're doing. So when he's saying, but do you like it? I did a really good job, didn't I? You can say, I see you. I see how you were focused on that puzzle, and now you're halfway finished. Or, wow, I can see that you were climbing halfway up and then you got a little bit scared and you looked around and you found a different footing and then you took another step. They'll keep trying to hook you, but just stay as non-judgmental and as neutral as possible with an authentic voice. You can be real with them. You can be excited and have a warm tone, of course. But just be careful, because every little bit of that external validation will just leave them wanting more. And I say there's so many praise junkies I see on the playground where they'll come over to me and say, but Miss Skoog, but do you like it? But am I good enough? But what about this? And just really keep turning it back to them and saying, but what do you think? So you can still say, I love starting with that phrase, I see you, because that just, that's really gets to the core of it. So just say, I see you, and then give them a really specific feedback. And you were running super fast, and you've made 3 laps now around the house, and you've dug really deeply with that hole, you've dug that hole really deeply. And just keep all that extra judgment for them so that they can really think for themselves. So the other part to this is, why is it so bad? Why do we care about this whole praise junkie thing anyways? Like, what's so wrong with just saying, yeah, I love it, or you did a really great job? And, every once in a while, of course, there's nothing wrong with it. Praise is like candy, in moderation, it's fine. The piece that we really want to work on with our children is this idea of growing that internal, intrinsic motivation. So every time that we are validating externally, or when we are placing our own judgment on it, then that just reinforces their idea that they need a grown-up. They need somebody else's opinion in order to validate them. So we just want to give them as much opportunity as possible to think for themselves and to make their own decisions about themselves. So we want kids to do the right thing when nobody's looking, not because they're going to get a reward, or because they're going to get praised, or because they got seen for it. So when we think about encouraging statements without judgment, that's like vegetables. They can have as much of that as possible. And that does take practice with our own language. And I think it's that part, we always want to tag on that good job and I like it. That's the automaticity of us, because we've grown up saying that. So I think it can be really powerful when it's private. It can be really powerful when it's very specific, when it's very detailed. We know how it feels when we get feedback that's very specific and descriptive instead of just getting a general good job. One way to guide your own script is just to simply, fill in the blank and describe what it is that you're seeing in a really neutral, warm way. So when in doubt, just think about what those long-term skills are that you want for your child to have. Do you want them to do the right thing when nobody's looking, or do you want them to do the right thing because they are going to get that gold star or that external validation? Real moments are learning moments.